First and foremost, I just would like to thank everybody that took the time out of the day to look at this video and get to know a little bit about myself. This is my first video, so I would like you to be patient with me. And what we're doing here today is I'm gonna give a little backstory on who I am for the people that follow me and for the people that don't, where I come from, where I ended up, and where I'm going. So with that being said, let's get the ball rolling, let's get into it. Let's go.
This was my home. Bleach, bleach, bleach,
So my name is Hector Zendejas. You know what I'm saying? I was born in Modesto, California. That's where I was raised a good part of my life. I ain't gonna lie, I went across the state a few times. I've been to Texas, I've been to Colorado, been to Utah. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, my mom, feel me? She was a Rolling Stone. She took me wherever she went. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we can't live with regrets, right? So as of right now, I'm living in the 661 area. But I was born, and like I said, I was raised out in Modesto. I'm 28 years old, and I'm the owner of Gwap'D Clothing. I'm also the owner of Gwap'D Fitness. And this is my fitness, this is my clothing line, Gwap'D. I mean, got shorts on deck. Anybody interested, you can find me at Gwap'D_CEO. And then if you anybody ever wanna join fitness or just wants to get motivated and look at anything, it's Gwap'D_fitness. So, man, it's been a journey, feel me, and it's gonna continue to be a journey, and it's gonna continue to be a battle. You know what I'm saying? Because as life goes, it's a battle uphill, and it's something that we're always going to continue to face. Obstacles. You know, when you're going up a mountain, you have rocks, you have thorns, you have bugs, you have different parts of the mountain that get steeper, that get more divine, more structured, artificial artifacts out there. So you have to maneuver and you have to learn how to get through those humps in order to make it to the top, right? So, and that's like life. You have to be able to go through stumbling blocks to get through life. Because at a very young age, I made a lot of poor decisions that led me into the system. At the age of 14, I did an attempted murder. For basically a gang to get retaliation on them picking on one of my little bros. I did that, feel me? And also at the end of the time, I was looking for acceptance. I was trying to earn a name, do what everybody else I seen was doing, feel me? Growing up in an environment that is prone to violence, prone to drugs, prone to living in poverty and staying the same and never elevating, because our parents weren't taught how to teach us those things. They were taught what their environment taught them. It ain't like it is now where everybody has social media to where they're able to find different ways and different options and different skills and different doors and avenues to open in order to deal with what they're dealing with. Feel me? So even when I was growing up, there wasn't really phones like that. And if people did have them, you know what I'm saying, they probably came from money. And we didn't come from money like that. Everything that we got, we strove for. And just like we striving right now, everything that I have, everything that you see, everything that I attain, is because I'm striving for it and I'm putting my dedication into it. But at a very young age, I made those decisions. I made those decisions to follow the gang, and it led me into the system with over 10 years of incarceration. Within that year, within that first term in juvenile hall, I did a year flat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't learn. I didn't learn. I was still, if anything, it boosted up whatever I wanted to do. I ended up getting out on that attempted murder, and I ended up catching another case. It was basically another attempted murder that I caught that they were trying to accuse me of. I ended up getting dropped, but they ended up sending me to something that's called CYA. That's no longer in the state of California. CYA. I ended up doing time from 2014 to the end of 2000, or to the beginning of 2017. So I did about 3.5 years, right? Got out when I was 18 years old. Still really didn't get it, even though I went through hell in there. Fights, riots, sprayed with pepper mace, no visits, no real support. My mom, I love her to death, and she's changed her ways, but she was running the streets. She was running the mug. She was addicted to drugs. She was addicted to alcohol. She was addicted to that lifestyle, right? So I didn't really have that support. And then my father, he did what he could, but he was still battling his own demons. So I remember just being in there, man, just going through it, going through life, hating everybody, disrespecting everybody, and not caring what the world really was gonna give me, or what the world really had in store for me at that moment. I was just taking whatever basically the devil was throwing my way, and I was taking it with contentment, and also with madness, and that I was bringing forth to the world. You feel me? It was just a lonely and dark path, man, in there. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have nobody to lean on, when you don't have no emotional support, and one of the biggest of them all is financial support. You know what I'm saying? When you sitting on that bunk and your stomach is touching your spine, it's something else, man. It creates a monster out of you. It creates somebody that doesn't care about life, doesn't care about the next being. Feel me? And that was me at a very young age. And I did it until I was 18. I got out. I was out for 1 month. I caught a auto theft. Did 8 months in the county jail. Got out for 3.5 months, about roughly 4 months. I did 4 years out of a 5-year term for armed robbery. And I got out, started doing my life. I met a good woman, started creating a family, but I was still addicted to that lifestyle, man. And I ended up going to prison again for carrying a pistol, carrying a firearm. I went to prison, did another 1.5 years, and now I'm out. I've been out going on about 2 years, almost 2 years, almost 1.5 years. And I could tell you like this, man, me changing my life and me being able to look at life as a different perspective, I'm very thankful for that, because there was a point in my life I didn't care if I did life in prison. I didn't care about anything. I was all about pleasing the next man, coming up the fast way. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build a name that really didn't matter, it didn't mean nothing, because it wouldn't have mean nothing in the streets if it did in prison. It maybe somewhat would have did, but the way this generation is going, nobody listens to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to follow orders. Nobody wants to show respect to their elders. Everybody wants to be their own boss. Everybody wants to be their own king. Everybody don't know how to lead, but they want to be leaders. You gotta learn to follow in order to lead. And how I learned to lead is by being a follower, but not saying that they were teaching me the right path, but things that I picked up along the way, they were righteous. There were things that you could stand on, things that you could hold in your life as a man and to create something. But I flipped it. Instead of doing it for the gang, I'm doing it for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm about to be 28 years old. I'm blessed with life. I'm blessed with having a new vision on what I want in my life. And I've always had it, but I just didn't know how to chase those dreams and really conquer them obstacles that were in my way. And for people that don't know and people that do know, I'm having a baby. I'm having a baby boy, and it's a blessing. I prayed to God to bless me with that. But when I changed my life, and He did, He gave me what I asked for. So why not change my life and to be a better version of myself and to be a better man and come from nothing, make it out of there and become something, to create brands. Feel me? To change people's lives, to inspire people to become different. You know, it's not easy when you even still live in the same environment. It's not easy when you live in the hood. It's not even easy when you see people that are doing the same thing. You hear about the same thing. It's not easy. But I can tell you like this. If you have a clear path, a clear vision of what it is that you want, you'll do it. You'll make that change. You know, nobody could force you. Nobody could tell you anything in the world. You know, they might, but people can plant the seed in your head for that change to come. But sometimes you have to really go through tragedies. You really have to go through trial and tribulation in order to feel that and to want that and to really be at the bottom of the barrel. And what it was for me is I was done disappointing myself, done disappointing my mother, disappointing the people that were in my corner, my wife, my child, and then I do not want to disappoint my newborn child. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little and minor backstory of my life. You know, as this journey continues, you're gonna see a lot of me. You're gonna understand where I come from, and you're gonna hear stories about my past. You're gonna understand who I am as a man, as a husband, a father, a son, a leader, and a good friend. You know, I made a lot of wrong decisions. You know, I've hurt people along the way. I've created enemies, but I'm not gonna be afraid to live my life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, in the Bible it says those who are afraid to live or that are afraid to die surely will die. But those who are not afraid to die surely will live. And that's what I'm living off of, man. I ain't fearing none out here but God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm keep real in that prison system because I've been there. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I've lived it. You know what I'm saying? I've been through riots. I've been through chaos. Seen people die. Seen people die of old age, prison, not wake up. They went to sleep one night, see you later. Next day, they ain't waking up. They cold, stiff on a bed. And I had a lot of, and that changes you as a man, man. I had a lot of anger seeing that, going through that. You know what I'm saying? And what I did is I let my vices, I let my anger create vices in my life, which were alcohol. You know what I'm saying? A big alcoholic. And I didn't know how to control it. And I made a lot of poor decisions and hurt a lot of people. I hurt mostly family, you know? But all that, we put it past. And we move into a better and brighter vision of the future. You know? Like I said, man, I'm creating my brand right now. This is my brand, Gwap'D. On the back. It's my brand, Gwap'D. Dedication. Feel me? This is what I'm putting my life to, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to establish, and what the Gwap'D stands for is gentlemen with a plan. But it also stands for getting money. And not just paper money, but physical money, spiritual money, mental money, also physical money. You know what I'm saying? You want to look good. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that. You know? I also have my shorts. Feel me? My shorts that I got. You know? It took a lot to get here. It took a lot to be able to establish things, man. These are the shorts that I have. You know what I'm saying? Dedication. Because it takes a lot of dedication to be able to do these type of things. Feel me? Has my logo right here. 19, the year it was established. I was in prison thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? I was in prison thinking about this and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. I didn't know quite sure how I was going to do it or when I was going to do it, but I know I wanted to do it, and I'm glad I started now, and I'm glad that I have a stronghold of family members of my family and my household to hold me down and never give up on me, even for the things that I have done. You know, and I think to this day I ain't perfect. I ain't doing the same things that I used to, know that, but as a man, I do have flaws, but I will overcome those flaws, and every day I'm gonna strive to be better. You know, so I just want to give a shout out to my family for always staying in my corner. I want to give a shout out to my mother for birthing a real one. Feel me? And that's just period. I love you, Mom. And I want to shout out to my dad, too, for helping my mother birth me, and for trying to be there when he can, because he's making up for lost time. And he's working hard. He's breaking his back, trying to make up for lost time and failures that he did in his life. And I understand. But with that being said, I also want to shout out to my unborn child. I love you, son, and I can't wait to see you. And I also want to give a shout out to my daughter. I love you. You brighten up my day, but you make me go crazy all the time. I'm just so protective over you. One day you're gonna understand it, and how much I love you deeply. It's just hard sometimes. Especially having a girl that you have to mold, that you have to help mold in this life. Kids that you have to help mold in this life. It's difficult, and it's an emotional part. And if you haven't reached that, and if you do have kids and you still kind of don't feel that emotional, maybe you need to start thinking about it, because you're an example of them. When they leave this house and when they meet other people and they get to go out there and experience the world, they're going to be an example of you. So start making that change now. And with that being said, I want everybody to know, have a strong, productive day or night or evening, wherever you're at. And stay strong, man. And look for brighter days. That being said, you know what it is, man. Go out, boys.